Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Longevity Lounge. My name is Ben.
And I'm Caylee.
And today we have a special guest coming all the way from Liechtenstein in Europe, Dr. Maika Korn, who is a part of the Medical Affairs Department for BEMER.
Honestly, having one foot in human medicine and the other in veterinary medicine is like having a front row seat to watch nature's genius at work. On a personal level, it's kept me humble. Horses don't respond to placebo effects or clever explanations. They either feel better or they don't. And that kind of honest feedback has shaped the way I look at every treatment, every piece of technology we develop. If it truly supports the body's natural processes, it should work just as well on a top-performing horse as it does on a stressed-out human executive. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Every cell in your body is like a tiny factory. It needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to run smoothly. Microcirculation is the delivery truck and garbage service for those factories. When microcirculation slows down because of stress, age, illness, or injury, the cell starts to struggle and they don't produce energy as efficiently. Inflammation can rise and healing gets delayed. That's when you notice fatigue, stiffness, slower recovery, even a weaker immune system. By improving microcirculation, BEMER basically opens up the supply chain again. Cells get what they need faster, waste is cleared out quicker, and the body regains its natural ability to repair and regulate itself.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Longevity Lounge. My name is Ben.
And I'm Caylee.
And today we have a special guest coming all the way from Liechtenstein in Europe, Dr. Maika Korn, who is a part of the Medical Affairs Department for BEMER.
So she's both a medical doctor for humans and a veterinarian, which is just mind-blowing to me. It's so interesting to talk to her about the intersection of BEMER therapy for humans and horses and maybe the commonalities that we wouldn't anticipate. So this is a really good conversation. So we're really excited to talk to Dr. Maika Korn today.
Let's jump into it. Okay, Dr. Korn, it's a wonderful pleasure to have you with us today for the podcast. And you're coming all the way from Liechtenstein. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben, for having me here.
Now, before we dive into the science, could you share with us a little bit about your educational journey and what led you to pursue both human medicine and also veterinary science?
Yeah, well, I've always believed healing isn't just a job. It's kind of a calling. And from a young age, I was fascinated by life itself, what makes it thrive, what knocks it off balance, and how we can bring it back into harmony. That curiosity is what pulled me into medicine. And honestly, I just couldn't limit it to one species. So while my friends were choosing one career path, I looked at humans and animals and thought, why not both? There's so much to learn when you can see healing from different perspectives, and the way a horse recovers from injury, the way stress affects a person's body, it's all connected if you look closely enough. And yes, people often ask me if I couldn't make up my mind. I usually laugh and say, no, I just didn't want to miss out on half the patients on this planet. And that curiosity eventually led me into scientific research, because understanding the why behind healing, turning mystery into knowledge that actually helps lives, that's what really drives me every single day.
I love that. I love that. Your career has taken you now to BEMER and our headquarters in Liechtenstein. What initially drew you to BEMER out of interest? The technology or what aspects behind the science, perhaps, that captured your interest?
Mm-hmm. When I first came across BEMER, I felt like finding a missile puzzle piece in my journey as a doctor and researcher. I had spent years studying medicine and even more years buried in scientific research, trying to understand what really drives healing at its core. I love the discovery process, the curiosity, the why and how of life bouncing back from illness or injury. But at some point, I realized knowledge alone isn't enough. If it just sits in a lab or on a piece of paper, it doesn't change anything. That was a turning point for me. I wanted to take everything I'd learned and actually put some horsepower on the road, literally and figuratively. I wanted to see science making a difference in real life, out in the stables, on the field, in people's homes, and not just in academic journals. And BEMER caught my attention because it does exactly that. It's science with purpose, a non-invasive, elegant technology that gently supports one of the body's most fundamental processes, microcirculation. And it doesn't force healing. It reminds the body how to do what it does best. And to me, that's the sweet spot where medicine should live, combining solid research with practical solutions that improve everyday lives, whether those lives walk on 2 legs or 4.
I love that. And as someone with expertise in both the human and equine medicine, how does that perspective shape the approach that you understand in developing the BEMER application?
Honestly, having one foot in human medicine and the other in veterinary medicine is like having a front row seat to watch nature's genius at work from two very different but surprisingly connected angles. Humans and horses might look worlds apart, but biologically and physiologically, there are so many parallels in how their bodies heal, recover, and respond to stress. And being able to move between these two worlds has taught me to think bigger and to look for patterns rather than isolated solutions. Something I've observed in horses, for example, how microcirculation impacts their muscle recovery after training, often sparks ideas that also make sense for human medicine and vice versa. It's like cross-pollination for science. And on a personal level, it's kept me humble. Horses don't respond to placebo effects or clever explanations. They either feel better or they don't. And that kind of honest feedback has shaped the way I look at every treatment, every piece of technology we develop. If it truly supports the body's natural processes, it should work just as well on a top-performing horse as it does on a stressed-out human executive. And for me, that's the beauty of working on BEMER application from both sides of the species line. It keeps the science grounded, the focus practical, and the goal crystal clear. Help living beings thrive by working with their biology, not against it.
Oh, I love that. I love that principle of honest feedback that that the horses give. That's tremendous. But what excites you most about your role in BEMER? And are there any projects right now that specifically kind of grab your attention and get you really excited?
Yeah, what excites me the most. Honestly, it's seeing science jump off the page and come alive. For years, my world was data points, lab results, and scientific debates. And don't get me wrong, I loved that. But now, in my role at BEMER, I get to watch this technology make a real difference in everyday life, whether it's helping a horse recover faster after competition or supporting someone who simply wants more energy and vitality. And that transformation from theory to tangible change never gets old. I am also incredibly passionate about pushing the boundaries of what we know about microcirculation. It's an area of medicine that's still underestimated, even though it's fundamental to everything: healing, performance, prevention. And right now, we are looking at new ways to make BEMER applications even more tailored, more effective, and accessible for both humans and horses. And at BEMER, my main focus is on the veterinary side. I'm the bridge between the company and the real world. That means I'm out there answering practical medical questions from the field, supporting professionals with hands-on knowledge, and at the same time working closely with universities on scientific studies and applications, observations. I love that I can bring real-life feedback back into the company and help drive research and development forward, making sure that what we do is both scientifically solid and truly useful in praxis. And honestly, the part that lights me up is knowing that we are just scratching the surface. There's so much potential in combining solid medical research with innovative, non-invasive solutions like this. It feels like we are building a bridge to the future of medicine, one where we don't just fix what's broken, but actively help bodies stay resilient and thrive. Being part of that vision is what gets me up every morning with a smile.
I love it.
I love that too.
So for those that are more scientifically minded, could you explain the fundamental principles behind the BEMER technology? Like specifically, how does it influence microcirculation at the cellular level?
Absolutely. And I promise not to make this sound like a dry science lecture. Think of your body as a bustling city, and your smallest blood vessels, the microcirculation, as all the tiny side streets and alleyways that keep every neighborhood supplied with oxygen, nutrients, and energy. And if those side streets get clogged or traffic slows down, cells don't get what they need. Waste products pile up and everything starts running less efficiently. That's when fatigue, pain, or slower healing can set in. BEMER works like an electromagnetic signal to the body, encouraging the smallest vessels to contract and relax in a healthy rhythm again. And this improved flow means that cells are better nourished and waste is cleared out more effectively. And when your cells are happy, your whole system performs and heals better. The fascinating part is that this happens on a very fundamental level, supporting natural processes the body is already designed to do. We are not forcing anything unnatural. We are giving a nudge, a reminder, helping the body help itself. And that's why it can be used for humans and horses alike. The underlying principle of healthy microcirculation is universal across species.
Yeah, I love that. And I think the relationship between microcirculation and overall health is so fascinating to me. And I think, can you maybe elaborate on like the improvements of microcirculation, how those translate into tangible health benefits for BEMER users?
Sure. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Every cell in your body is like a tiny factory. It needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to run smoothly, and it needs its waste products taken out regularly. Microcirculation is a deliver truck and garbage service for those factories. When microcirculation slows down because of stress, age, illness, or injury, the cell starts to struggle and they don't produce energy as efficiently. Inflammation can rise and healing gets delayed. That's when you notice fatigue, stiffness, slower recovery, even a weaker immune system. By improving microcirculation, BEMER basically opens up the supply chain again. Cells get what they need faster, waste is cleared out quicker, and the body regains its natural ability to repair and regulate itself. People often tell me they feel more energized, sleep better, recover faster from training, or that nagging aches just fade. And with horses, you can see the same story: more fluid movement, better relaxation, quicker bounce back after hard work. It's not magic, it's just giving the body the conditions it needs to do the incredible things it's already designed to do.
Now, there's often confusion between pulsed electromagnetic field therapies versus other forms of electromagnetic therapies. Could you clarify what makes BEMER's specific signal pattern unique and particularly effective?
That's a great question, because not all electromagnetic therapies are created equal. It's a bit like saying all music is the same just because it has notes in it. Sure, sound is sound, but there is a big difference between random noise and a beautifully composed symphony. BEMER's technology is like that symphony. We don't just blast the body with a strong magnetic field and hope for the best. Instead, BEMER uses a very specific patented signal pattern, a complex, finely tuned melody, if you will, that's designed to resonate with the natural rhythms of microcirculation. This isn't about force, it's about precision. Other PEMF devices may use simple, repetitive signals or focus purely on intensity. But in physiology, more isn't always better. The body responds best when the signal is biologically relevant, something it recognizes and can act on naturally. That's what makes BEMER unique. It's not about pushing the system hard, it's about giving the right instructions in the right language so the body remembers how to self-regulate effectively. Think of it as the difference between yelling "go" and having a skilled coach whisper the perfect play. At just the right moment, the latter usually gets a better result.
Yeah, for sure. And from a medical perspective, what physiological markers of measurement can objectively demonstrate the benefits of BEMER therapy on the body's systems?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
Science always wants numbers and proof, and I'm right there with it. The beauty of BEMER is that its effects aren't just something people feel. We can actually measure changes in the body. The most direct marker is microcirculation itself. We can use imaging techniques to watch tiny blood vessels start contracting and relaxing more effectively after BEMER sessions. Blood flow speed and vessel activity improve. And you can literally see the traffic jam clearing. What I love about this is that the data lines up with what people and horses report. They don't just imagine more energy, faster healing, or better sleep. There's physiology backing it up. As a scientist, I find that incredibly satisfying. It's not just a nice story, it's biology doing what biology does best when you give it the right support. Yeah. We have solid, measurable science here, and anyone can check it out because the studies are open access on PubMed. These aren't anecdotes, they are physiological effects we can see, measure, and reproduce.
So from that perspective then, how does BEMER technology adapt to address the specific physiological needs of horses compared to humans?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics because horses aren't just big humans on four legs. Their physiology has its own fascinating quirks. They are incredible athletes with massive cardiovascular systems, powerful muscles, and very sensitive stress responses. So when we designed BEMER applications for horses, we had to respect those differences. So HorseSet is tailored from top to hoof. It's not a scaled-up human device. It's a species-specific system with its own patented signal, a specially designed blanket to cover large muscle groups and additional applicators for legs and neck, because these areas are prone to strain and injury. The core principle of BEMER, improving microcirculation, is universal across species. But the way we deliver it to a horse is tailored to their size, anatomy, and daily challenges. And honestly, horses are brutally honest test subjects. You can't talk them into a placebo effect. If something doesn't make them feel better, they'll let you know immediately. And that's why I love seeing how they respond to BEMER. Softer eyes, calmer breathing, looser muscles. Their whole body language shifts, and the therapy is doing exactly what it's meant to. Supporting circulation, easing tension, and giving them the best possible conditions to heal and perform naturally.
Yeah. And I think horses are kind of elite athletes in their own right with unique recovery challenge. So, unique recovery challenges. How does BEMER therapy address specific issues like muscle fatigue, joint stress, and recovery in performance horses specifically?
Yeah, exactly. Horses are like Olympic athletes, except they are carrying a rider, jumping fences, sprinting at incredible speeds, and doing it all on 4 very delicate legs. Their muscles and joints take an enormous amount of strain, and their recovery window can make or break performance and long-term health. BEMER steps in by improving microcirculation, which is essentially the horse's built-in repair system. Better circulation means fresh oxygen and nutrients get delivered faster to tired muscles, while metabolic waste products, the stuff that makes muscles feel sore or heavy, are cleared out more efficiently. When you improve that whole supply and cleanup process, recovery speeds up. Joints that are under constant stress get better nourishment for cartilage and surrounding tissues, which can help reduce stiffness and tension. Horses often show it right away. They move more fluidly, they stretch out more willingly, their whole posture softens. And the beautiful part is that it's non-invasive and complements everything else you do for a performance horse. Good training, proper nutrition, veterinary care. BEMER doesn't replace those. It supercharges the horse's own ability to bounce back and stay at peak condition. In top-level competitions, that extra edge in recovery can be a real game changer.
Yeah, I love that. Can you share some specific case studies or just maybe examples from your experience where BEMER therapy has made a significant difference in equine health outcomes?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen so many cases where BEMER has quietly but powerfully changed the game for a horse. One that really sticks with me was a high-level dressage horse struggling with persistent muscle tension along his back. The rider had tried everything, massage, stretching, careful training, but he still felt stiff and resistant, especially in collected movements. After introducing regular BEMER sessions, within a few weeks, you could see the change. His muscles loosened, his stride opened up, and the fight in those tricky exercises just melted away. The rider said it felt like she had her old horse back. Or another case was a show jumper recovering from a tendon injury. Normally, the healing process for that kind of injury is long and complicated. With BEMER supporting microcirculation and tissue repair, his recovery time noticeably improved. The vet was impressed by the quality of the healed tissue, and the horse came back to competition with full mobility and no recurring issues. And then there are countless smaller stories, endurance horses that finish long rides with more energy left in the tank, older horses that start moving like they have turned back the clock, even anxious horses who just relax more deeply after a session. What I love most is that you don't have to convince the horse. Their body tells you if something is working, and with BEMER, the feedback is written all over their movement and behavior.
I love that. Certainly the horses clearly love BEMER. What about the owners? Have you had any feedback from equine professionals that have incorporated BEMER into their care routines with their horses? And perhaps as a follow-on question from that, any particular disciplines or types of equine athletes where you've seen that they benefit most?
Yeah, I get a ton of feedback from trainers, riders, grooms, you name it. And there's a common theme. Horses just feel better when BEMER is part of their routine. Professionals tell me they see looser, more elastic movement, calmer behavior before and after training, and faster bounce back after hard workouts or competitions. One dressage rider put it perfectly. It feels like my horse's body says yes instead of maybe. And that improved willingness to move, to stretch, to really use their body, it makes a huge difference in precision sports like dressage or show jumping. In endurance riding, where horses cover enormous distances, BEMER seems to help with stamina and post-ride recovery. Eventers love it because it supports their horses across multiple demanding phases: cross-country, show jumping, dressage, often packed into a single weekend. Even Western disciplines and race horses benefit from the improved muscle relaxation and circulation support. And here's the thing. Horses don't fake it. When a horse is more relaxed in the warm-up or happily stretches down after a session or recovers faster overnight at a show, the professionals see it, feel it, and trust it. And that's why BEMER is finding its way into more and more barns across many disciplines, because it quietly helps horses feel and perform at their natural best.
Yeah, I love that. So, Dr. Korn, for horse owners that are maybe considering BEMER therapy, what observable changes might they notice in their horse's movement and behavior and performance after consistent treatment with BEMER?
Yeah. One of the first things many owners notice is a change in body language. Horses often start to relax more deeply during and after BEMER sessions. You'll see softer eyes, lowered head and neck, even a few big yawns or that happy lip twitch. It's their way of saying, yeah, that feels good. And with regular use, owners often report freer, more elastic movement. Horses warm up faster, muscles feel less tight, and they stretch more willingly. After intense training or a long trail ride, recovery time can shorten, meaning your horse feels fresh again sooner instead of stiff or sore the next day. For performance horses, the changes can be even more noticeable. More focus under saddle, better rideability, and improved overall comfort during demanding work. But even leisure horses benefit. You'll often see more energy for play, smoother transitions under saddle, and an overall happy horse vibe. That's hard to miss. And your horse is the best biofeedback system you'll ever have. Their behavior tells you exactly how good it feels. What I love most is that these changes aren't subtle once you know your horse. Owners know their horses better than anyone, so when they tell me he just feels like himself again, that's the best proof of all that BEMER is supporting the bodies exactly as it's meant to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And certainly one question that comes up a lot, especially when you talk about getting to know your horse or knowing your horse so well, is the intensity settings that BEMER has. Could you explain the different intensity levels and how they affect the body's response? And of course, how should we choose which is the optimal setting to use?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first things first. With BEMER, higher intensity doesn't automatically mean better. It's not like turning up the volume on your favorite song. It's more about finding the sweet spot where your body responds best. The intensity levels control how strong the signal is delivered to the body. Lower settings are perfect for sensitive individuals, whether that's a horse getting its first session or a human who just wants a gentle start. It's like dipping your toes in the water before you dive in. And higher intensities can be helpful once the body is used to BEMER or when you want to support recovery after a heavy workout, long travel, or physical strain. But even then, it's not about blasting the system. The signal works because of its precision, not brute forced. I usually tell people, start low, go slow, and listen to the feedback. And horses are great at showing you what feels right. They relax, they lick, chew, or just stand more quietly if the intensity suits them. Humans can feel it too, a gentle warmth, a sense of ease. Finding the optimal setting is a bit like adjusting the dimmer on a light. You want enough brightness to see clearly, but not so much that it's overwhelming. And once you hit that balance, that's where BEMER really shines.
Yeah, I love the start low, go slow. That's such good advice. So for optimal results, let's talk about frequency. How should users think about frequency and consistency for their BEMER sessions? And is there a diminishing return or an ideal treatment for both humans and horses?
Yeah, with BEMER, consistency beats intensity every time, like I said. Yeah. Think of it like watering a plant. Giving it a little bit regularly keeps it's thriving much better than dumping a whole bucket once in a while. For most people and horses, daily sessions are ideal, sometimes even twice a day if you're working on recovery or specific challenges. The technology works by giving your microcirculation a gentle reminder to get moving, and just like exercise, the benefits build over time with repetition. There's no real danger of overdoing it because BEMER isn't forcing the body to do anything unnatural. It's supporting what the body already knows how to do. And that said, doing session after session without giving the body time to rest isn't necessary either. A regular rhythm is perfect for keeping the microcirculation in top form. For horses in heavy training, pre- and post-work sessions can be a great combo. One before to prep the body, one after to speed up recovery. For humans, a session before bed often improves sleep, while a morning session helps you start the day with more energy. So the magic formula, a little, often, and consistently. That's where you see the best, most lasting results.
You've shared a lot of incredible outcomes that come with using BEMER consistently. As a clinician and as a researcher, are there studies or evidence regarding BEMER's technology that you've found most compelling or significant?
What I love about BEMER is that it's not just a clever idea that feels good. It's backed by solid science you can actually look up yourself. On PubMed, you'll find, for example, 5 open access studies specifically on horses. One study used ultrasound to measure the diameter of tiny blood vessels in the distal limb and showed a significant widening after BEMER sessions, meaning more blood flow where it counts most. Another study used thermography to visualize warmth distribution, again demonstrating improved circulation. A third, led by Professor Brandenberger in a renowned German equine clinic, looked at horses wakening up from anesthesia, and his team found changed wake-up scores in horses that had BEMER support and proposed the fascinating hypothesis that it improves how medications, in this case anesthetics, are distributed throughout the body. And these findings match what we see in barns every day: faster recovery, calmer horses, improved mobility. That's what I love. Data and real-world results telling the same story. And then there's this growing body of clinical evidence where real-life cases confirm what the science suggests. Faster recovery after injury, improved endurance, better sleep quality, and more relaxed muscles. It's always exciting when lab data and lived experience tells the same story. That combination of hard data and tangible, visible results is what makes BEMER so convincing for me. It's science that you can both measure and feel.
I love that because, you know, we're out here with people all the time and hearing the stories, but I love that it's backed up by science and supported by data. So for anyone that's got scientific skepticism, perhaps, regarding BEMER, what would you point to as the strongest evidence supporting its efficacy?
Yeah, I actually like skepticism. It's healthy in science. We should all ask tough questions before we accept anything new in medicine. But what I tell skeptics is this: BEMER isn't just a fancy marketing story. It's physiology you can measure. We have objective data showing improved microcirculation, real imaging evidence of capillaries opening up and blood flow patterns becoming more efficient after a BEMER session. That's not subjective or based on placebo. That's biology in action. And beyond lab results, you can't ignore what happens in real life. Thousands of horses visibly relax, move more freely, recover faster. They don't know what BEMER is. They don't read research papers, and they definitely don't believe in placebo effects. When you see data and animal feedback aligning so perfectly, it paints a picture that's very hard to argue with. I always say to skeptics, don't take my word for it. Look at the imaging, the numbers, the way horses respond. That's science you can't fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you see the field of PEMF therapy evolving in the coming years based on emerging research?
I think we are just scratching the surface of what's possible with PEMF therapy. For decades, mainstream medicine has focused heavily on pharmaceuticals and surgery, and while those are vital tools, they are not the whole story. There's this enormous, largely untapped potential in supporting the body's own self-regulation and repair systems. That's where PEMF and BEMER fit in, and research is starting to catch up with what we are already seeing in praxis. In the coming years, I expect to see even more precise applications where we can tailor the electromagnetic signals to individual needs. Think highly personalized therapies for specific conditions or recovery goals. We are also likely to see integration with other regenerative approaches, combining PEMF with nutritional science, physical therapy, and even next-gen biotech to create whole-body wellness solutions. And importantly, as the data continues to build, I think PEMF will move from alternative to mainstream medicine. Right now, many people are still surprised that a non-invasive technology can make such a difference. In the future, I believe it will be as normal as physical therapy or preventive supplements, just the standard part of taking care of your body or your horse's body. And for me, that's exciting because BEMER is not about replacing medicine, it's about expanding it. We are helping to pioneer a shift from fixing problems after they happen to keeping the body resilient, energized, and balanced in the first place. That's where I see the real future of healthcare.
Yeah, and we've talked so much about performance and recovery today. Beyond that, are there preventative applications for BEMER therapy that you believe deserve more attention for human and horses?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this is where I think BEMER shines the brightest. We often think of healthcare as something we turn to when there's already a problem, an injury, pain, chronic fatigue. But the reality is that most issues, whether in humans or horses, build up slowly over time, often because the body isn't getting what it needs on a cellular level. Microcirculation is the delivery system for health. When those tiny vessels are functioning well, cells stay nourished, waste products are cleared efficiently, and tissues stay resilient. Regular BEMER use is like tuning up your engine before it breaks down. You are giving your body or your horse's body the conditions it needs to stay balanced. Repair tiny issues before they turn into big ones and age more gracefully. I mean, I've seen horses that stay energetic well into their senior years, or people who simply don't crash with fatigue as easily anymore because they've made BEMER part of their wellness routine. Preventative care is the future of medicine, and technologies like BEMER are making that shift possible. They give us a simple, non-invasive way to invest in long-term health instead of just reacting to problems later.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, this has been fantastic. So for our listeners that are perhaps considering should they get a BEMER for themselves or for their horses, what guidance would you give to offer them the direction to achieve the best possible results?
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice is this. Think of BEMER as part of a bigger wellness puzzle, not a magic button you press once and forget about. The technology works best when it's used consistently, just like exercise or good nutrition. A few minutes a day over time can create remarkable changes because you are supporting the body's natural processes day in and day out. Secondly, listen to the feedback, whether it's from your own body or from your horse. Horses are wonderfully honest. They'll tell you with their behavior if something feels good. People notice it too. More energy, better sleep, smoother recovery. Pay attention to those small shifts because they are signs your system is coming back into balance. And lastly, don't underestimate the power of combining BEMER with other good habits. Proper training, balanced diet, rest, and mental well-being. Technology is at its best when it works hand in hand with all the other aspects of health. So my guidance is simple. Use it regularly, stay observant, and see it as an investment in long-term vitality for you or for that four-legged partner who gives you their whole heart every day.
What message, Dr. Korn, would you leave with our listeners about the potential of BEMER technology to transform health outcomes for humans and horses?
Yeah, if there's one thing I'd love for people to take away, it's this. Healing doesn't have to be complicated or invasive to be powerful. Our bodies and our horses' bodies, of course, are brilliantly designed to repair, recover, and thrive. But modern life often gets in the way of those natural processes. BEMER is a tool that gives nature a helping hand by improving microcirculation. We are not forcing healing, we are creating the conditions where the body can do what it's already meant to do. And when you see that spark come back, a horse moving freely again, a person waking up with real energy, you realize just how much potential lies in supporting biology instead of fighting against it. The future of medicine, I believe, will be about partnership with the body, not control over it. And BEMER is one step towards that future, where technology and nature work together for better health and quality of life, whether you walk on 2 legs or gallop on 4.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, Dr. Korn, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been fascinating to learn just how much the BEMER technology can help both people and horses. Yeah. And it's just been tremendous. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Awesome.
Excellent. Take care.